The lights were blinding, the crowd was roaring, and Diraba stood center stage, microphone in hand. But what happened next silenced the entire arena. With tears in her eyes, she whispered, "I can't hide this anymore. I'm carrying Yongyang's child." Gasps shot through the audience like thunder. Phones dropped, fans screamed, and reporters scrambled to capture the shocking moment. No one could believe what they had just heard. For months, rumors had swirled about Diraba and Yongyang's secret connection, but no one imagined it would come to this, an announcement so raw, so public, and so life-changing. Yongyang, who had been sitting quietly in the front row, froze. His face turned pale as every camera in the hall pointed toward him. The tension in the room was unbearable. People wanted answers. Was this real? Was this planned? Or was it a slip of truth that had been hidden for far too long? Diraba's voice shook as she continued. "I know this is not how you expected tonight's show to go. But I couldn't pretend anymore. This is my reality, our reality." She placed her hand gently over her stomach, and the entire audience gasped again. Yongyang finally stood, his tall figure commanding the room. He walked slowly toward the stage, each step echoing louder than the music that had just been cut off. When he reached her, the world seemed to stop. Fans were live streaming, hashtags were exploding, and millions were about to see this unfold online. Looking at her with a mixture of shock and tenderness, Yongyang finally spoke. "Why now? Why here?" His voice cracked, not with anger, but with fear. Fear of the storm that was already brewing. Fear of what this would mean for his career, for hers, and for their private lives that had just been thrown into the fire of public judgment. Diraba turned to him, her eyes red but determined. "Because the world deserves to know the truth. I won't hide this anymore. Not from them, not from you, and not from myself." The audience erupted, some in applause, some in disbelief. Social media was already trending with their names. Fans debated if this was a publicity stunt, a scandal, or the most genuine confession ever seen on stage. Yongyang reached out, taking her trembling hand in his. His jaw tightened as though he was fighting 1,000 emotions at once. "If this is the path we're taking, then we face it together." His words sent another shockwave through the crowd. The hall filled with screams, cheers, and sobs from fans who couldn't believe what they were witnessing. Diraba broke down, tears streaming as the weight of secrecy lifted off her shoulders. "I thought you'd hate me for saying this," she whispered. Yongyang shook his head. "Hate you? No. Afraid? Yes. But if this is our reality, then I choose to embrace it with you." For the next few minutes, the arena was chaos. Fans argued online, tabloids rushed to publish breaking news, and the world outside those walls spun faster than ever. Yet, on that stage, under the blinding lights, only two people truly mattered. Yongyang placed a protective hand over hers, resting gently on her stomach. Cameras flashed wildly, capturing the moment that would be replayed across every platform in the world. "From this moment on," he said firmly, "we face everything together." The audience rose to their feet, not sure whether to celebrate or question what they had just witnessed. But one thing was undeniable: history had just been made. As the night ended, and Diraba and Yongyang walked off the stage hand in hand, the whispers of doubt, shock, and disbelief turned into one thunderous reality: their lives, their careers, and their love story would never be the same again. As they disappeared behind the curtain, the backstage crew scrambled in confusion. Managers rushed toward them, desperate to control the fallout. "Do you two realize what you've just done?" one of the staff members cried out, clutching his headset. "This isn't just trending, it's exploding worldwide." Diraba, still clutching Yongyang's hand tightly, took a deep breath. "Let it explode. I've lived in silence long enough. I won't be trapped by fear anymore." Yongyang looked at her, torn between panic and admiration. "You're braver than I ever thought. But this isn't just about us. The press, the contracts, the endorsements, they'll come after us harder than ever before." She wiped her tears but held her chin high. "Let them come. I'd rather face the truth with you than hide it alone. Meanwhile, outside, the internet had already gone wild. Fans around the world were arguing, some celebrating, some furious. One headline read, "Diraba drops bombshell on stage, Yongyang the father?" Another screamed, "Love or scandal?" China's golden star is at the center of chaos. Yongyang's phone buzzed nonstop with calls and messages. He finally turned it off and placed it in his pocket. "I can't let them dictate our story anymore. Tonight, you forced me to see that. And you're right, we can't hide." Diraba's shoulders relaxed slightly, relief washing over her. "So you'll stand by me?" He squeezed her hand. "Not just stand by you. I'll fight for us." Their eyes locked, the tension melting into something deeper, an unspoken promise that no scandal, no headline, no backlash could destroy what they were about to face together. Moments later, their managers entered with worried faces. "We need an official statement immediately," one of them demanded. "Otherwise, this will spiral out of control." Yongyang raised his head, his voice calm but firm. "Then prepare one. But make it clear, we're not ashamed. This isn't a scandal. This is our life." The managers exchanged shocked glances. For years, they had carefully crafted the perfect public images of these two stars, never allowing rumors to touch them. And now, in one night, everything had changed. Diraba stepped forward, her voice steady. "Write whatever you want, but don't twist it. This is the truth. And if they ask me again, I'll say the same words I said tonight." News outlets across Asia were already broadcasting the footage on repeat. Fans outside the arena screamed, holding banners with both of their names, chanting for answers. Paparazzi swarmed the exits, desperate for a single photo. But for Diraba and Yongyang, the noise outside faded into the background. In the quiet backstage room, they finally sat together, hand in hand. Diraba whispered softly, "Do you realize what this means? Everything changes from now." Yongyang nodded. "Yes. But maybe that's what we needed. Maybe this is the beginning of something greater than fame, greater than careers." Her tears turned into a fragile smile. "Then let's face it. Together." He pulled her close, wrapping his arm around her as if shielding her from the world. And though the chaos raged on outside, though headlines spun wild stories, in that moment, one truth was undeniable: their secret was no longer hidden. As Yongyang held Diraba close, the muffled sound of the crowd outside grew louder. They weren't leaving, they were chanting. Her name. His name. Over and over, voices united in a storm that shook the walls. Diraba leaned into him, her voice barely a whisper. "They're waiting for us, not for a press release, not for a statement, but for the truth." Yongyang closed his eyes for a moment, listening to the echo of thousands of fans. Then he stood, pulling her gently to her feet. "Then let's give it to them." The managers tried to block the door. "No, you can't go back out there. This will ruin everything." But Yongyang brushed past them, determination burning in his eyes. Diraba followed, her hand never leaving his. When they stepped back onto the stage, the entire arena erupted, shouts, screams, tears, applause. Yongyang raised the microphone, his voice steady despite the chaos. "You all came here tonight for a show. But instead, you witnessed the truth. And we won't run from it." He turned to Diraba, giving her the spotlight once more. She took a deep breath, her hand resting on her stomach as the camera zoomed in. "This is our journey. It may not be what you expected, but it's real. And we ask you, not for judgment, but for strength.